Good morning, Lake Blue Streaks. It is Wednesday, May 20th, 2020. And today is your last assignment for Algebra 2. We will have our quiz today. You guys have done a great job. I enjoyed having you in class. Look forward to seeing you next year. Hopefully, we'll be able to go to school and things will be back to more normal than it has been. But proud of you guys. Thanks for keeping up and doing your work. Let's get your quiz done as soon as possible so that I can get grades in for you and you will be finished with Algebra 2. So I have the practice quiz up right now and I'm just going to go over it and then I will post the quiz for you. So let's get started. The first two, we're changing from degrees to radians. And remember, I want answers to be simplified fractions in terms of pi. Okay, don't give me the decimals, give me the fractions. Just hit math fraction on your calculator and it will work. So let's see if I can just do it like here. All right, so I like to put the bar, we multiply by pi over 180, which means I just make my pi next to the 45 and put over 180. And then I go to my calculator. So 45 divided by 180. You get this decimal. All right. Just hit math. Except it was supposed to be 450, wasn't it? Fraction. So that's not correct. Thought it was 45, but it's 450. Let me check something. Yeah, it's supposed to have been 450. So when I copy and pasted, it didn't work right. All right, so this is a 450. So I'll just add the 0. Okay. The zeros cancel. And I know 9 goes into both of those. So 9 goes into 45 5 times. And don't forget your pi. And then 9 goes into 18 2 times. So some of you had 2.5 pi. I would rather see this 5 pi over 2. Okay, so again, let me put in the right numbers, not 45, but 450. And you'll see it works out. Okay, instead of that 2.5, just hit math and hit enter twice, and then you'll get the 5 pi over 2. Okay, so this next one, we're going to do the same thing. So we put pi in the numerator and 180 in the denominator, and go back to my calculator. Now there's a negative there, so negative 157, and it's 0.5. Some of that when I copied didn't come out right. Divided by 180, and get this decimal, and again hit math and enter twice. So that's negative 7 pi over 8. So again, fractions in terms of pi. No decimals, please. All right, 3 and 4, we're going the other way. We're going from radians to degrees, so we multiply by 180 over pi. The pi's cancel. Okay, so we'll cancel. And then just go to your calculator. Negative 13 times 180. Let's move that over so we can see what we're doing. Excuse me. So go straight across. Negative 13 times 180, then divide by 6. Divide by 6. And that's negative 390. think by now I could do this right, but I'll be glad to get back and write on my smart board. All right, again, number 4, same thing, 180 over pi pi's cancel. And then let's go to your calculator. All right. So 5 times 180 divided by 12, and that's 75 degrees. Those 4 should be very, very simple for you. No problem. You can do it. All right. So again, use fractions for 1 and 2. Make sure pi's in the numerator, and then the pi's will cancel for 3 and 4. Okay, so 5 through 10, we're just going to use our unit circle to find the exact answer to the following problem. So we're doing 300 degrees for the first one. So the next slide, I have a picture of my unit circle. And 300 degrees is right here, which means we're looking at this point. Okay, 300 here, 5 pi over 3, there's the point. So we're looking at those two numbers, 1/2 and negative radical 3 over 2 is that point. So that's what I use to help me answer this question. All right, 1/2 and negative 3 over 2. Okay, that's the point I'm looking at. Cosine, all right, comes before sine in the alphabet, and x comes before y. So we're looking at the x value. So this answer would be 1/2. It's the x value of our point for cosine. All right. For number 6, it's 3 pi over 4. So I go back to my unit circle, use that picture. 3 pi over 4 is up here in the second quadrant, 135 degrees. So I'm looking at this point. All right, negative radical 2 over 2 and positive radical 2 over 2. That's the point I'm looking at. Okay. Negative radical 2 over 2 is the x value, and positive radical 2 over 2 is the y value in that second quadrant. 135 degrees, 3 pi over 4. Sine comes after cosine in the alphabet. X, y. Y comes after x. So my answer is this y value of our point, radical 2 over 2. All right, so that's the exact value. I do not want the decimal value. I will mark off for that. Rationalize denominators. Make sure you simplify fractions. So that's a simplified fraction in lowest terms, and no radical in the denominator for either one of those. Number 7 is a tangent of 210. So I go look where 210 is, which will be the third quadrant, right here, which is 7 pi over 6. But this is the point I'm looking at. Negative radical 3 over 2 and negative 1/2 for the 210. Okay. Negative radical 3 over 2 and negative 1/2. Now, for tangent, if we look at our slide, it's the y over the x for tangent. Okay, so the y value, which was the negative 1/2, over the x value, the negative radical 3 over 2. That's how I would set it up. All right. So the y value over the x value. Wish I could write smaller. Which means you got to multiply by the reciprocal, remember. And those 2's will cancel. Right? So my numerator is -1. My denominator is negative the square root of 3, which 2 negatives make it positive, so when I finish, I don't need a negative sign. Rationalize the denominator, just like the directions say. So I get radical 3 for the numerator. Again, since it's 2 negatives, I'm just making it positive, and radical 3 times radical 3 is 3. All right? So that's number 7. It is the exact value in a simplified fraction form. All right. Cotangent, 2 pi. All right, 2 pi is 1 full rotation. All right, remember, 90 degrees was pi over 2, 180 was pi, 270 was 3 pi over 2, and 360 was 2 pi. So here's our point we're looking at. 1, 0. Okay. So 1, 0. Okay. We just did tangent, remember, which was y over x. Cotangent is the reciprocal, so that's x over y. So this would be x the 1 over y the 0, which we can't do. Undefined. For number 8. It's all kind of squished together. Sorry about that. Okay, so number 8 is undefined because we were dividing by 0. Remember, it's x over y for cotangent. Tangent was y over x, so cotangent is the reciprocal. All right, cosecant, that's the reciprocal of sine. Okay, cosecant, reciprocal of sine. All right, so that's the 1 over y. Sine is the y. So basically, it's the reciprocal of the sine, or reciprocal of the y value. Okay, so let's go to our picture of our unit circle and find 4 pi over 3. And there it is in the third quadrant. That's 240 degrees. Our point is -1/2, negative radical 3 over 2. All right. So -1/2, negative radical 3 over 2. So remember, cosecant, reciprocal of sine. Sine is this fraction. So we're just going to find the reciprocal of that fraction. Okay? So I flip that. So it's 2 over negative the square root of 3, and then rationalize. So since I got a positive and a negative, my answer is negative. I just like to put it up top. So my answer is -2 radical 3. And then again, radical 3 times radical 3 is 3. So that's number 9. Okay, so 8 was undefined. 9 was -2 radical 3 over 3. And the last one, secant, okay, is the reciprocal of cosine. So that would be 1 over x. Or we'll just flip the x value of our point. So let's go. 315 would be in the fourth quadrant. Look at our picture. There's 315, 7 pi over 4. Here's my point. Radical 2 over 2 and negative radical 2 over 2. All right. Radical 2 over 2 and negative radical 2 over 2. Again, I want the x because it's a reciprocal of cosine. Cosine is the x value. So I flip my x value, 2 over radical 2, and rationalize it to simplify it. And then I have my exact value. So 2 radical 2 is my numerator, and 2 is my denominator. So those 2's cancel. So the answer, our final answer of the year for practice quizzes is positive square root of 2. Again, do not want the decimal answer. So this shouldn't take you long. It's simple. You can do it, no problem. Okay, so get this done as soon as possible. All right, so I can get them graded for you, and you will be finished with Algebra 2 course for your 219, 220 junior year for most of you, a few sophomores we have. Again, I enjoyed having you in class. You did a great job. Keep up the good work. Have a great summer. And remember, control what you can control, right? You can't control this virus stuff, but you can control your attitude and your effort. So have a positive attitude and always give your best effort. Remember, it's your attitude, not your aptitude, that determines your altitude in life. Okay? So you guys have a great summer. I enjoyed having you again. Miss you guys. Love you guys. You have a great day today. Get that quiz done as soon as possible. And remember, look good, feel good. You are good.